Alright, says I'm on air, so I'll wait for a couple people to come in before we get started. Sort of impromptu, and as the title suggests, I want to go through the films of 1989. Hi, DJ Donnelly. Hey, DJ Mitsukano. Let me know if you can hear me. I know the picture quality isn't much, but it's the best I can do. But yeah, just let me know if you can hear me. Hey, Josh O'Brien, going all right? Again, let me know if you guys can hear me. Hey, Jesse. Cool, thank you, DJ. As this title suggests, we're going to be doing a theme this stream. On Wikipedia, I have the films in 1989, and I'm going to go step by step and get your guys' opinion on each of these films. And I don't think I could put a link in the chat, but for people who want to follow along, I can try. I think that maybe you copy and paste that, but maybe for a few more people to get in before we do this. Yeah, I'm thinking tomorrow maybe I'll do 1999, but 1989. Figure, few decades, anniversary. 1989 is a great year for movies. Maybe not so much horror sequels, but there's a lot of good movies which we'll get into. But waiting for maybe a few more people to pop in before we do that. Release order, that's the easiest way for me to do it. So as it says here, from January 1989 onward. So, which makes it more fun because it's like, oh, what came out next? Hey, MCU sucks. Just waiting for a few more people to get in. The topic at hand is the year of 1989. I'll just finish watching Shocker. That'll definitely be talked about. I love Shocker. Love Shocker. My favorite Wes Craven film. I did a fan commentary for it. I did a review for it. Yeah, 30 years. Doing well, Josh. Just waiting for a few more people to get in before we get started on the year 1989, going from January 1989 to December. Getting you guys' opinions on each of these films. Oh, South Australia. Cool kid, LR Thumper. Welcome. Sorry the picture quality is shit, but at least you can hear me. What year was Shakma released? Shakma was a 90s film. Might be 1990, actually. Hey, Jose Gomez. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, Halloween 5. We'll get to that because that came out this year. But I guess, I mean, to start off, since we do have 15 people here, the first film on the list is Deep Star 6, which came out January of 1989, directed by Sean S. Cunningham. Doing well, Chaz, just starting the year 1989, discussion going through each. No, I didn't see any theaters in 89. I was only 6 years old. I didn't go to the theaters that young. But yeah, the first movie for 1989, January 1989, is Deep Star 6, which originally was going to be directed by Robert Harmon, who did The Hitcher, and then things fell through. Definitely talk about Leviathan. Got the poster back there for it. But yeah, Deep Star 6 I do enjoy. It's not as good as Leviathan, but I still am a sucker for the vibe. I do really like Miguel Ferrer. Miguel Ferrer is the best guy in the movie. Let's see, never seen it. The film was okay. It's the weakest compared to the other two killer sea monster movies of the year, but it's pretty fun. What two killer sea monsters are you talking about? I know one's Leviathan. What's the other one you're mentioning? I like Deep Star 6, a lesser movie than Leviathan, but still entertaining nonetheless. What year did you go into the movies? Probably sometime in the mid-90s. Hi, Barbecue Network. We're talking about Deep Star 6 as we venture into the year 1989. Yes, Josh. Rest in peace, Miguel Ferrer. Oh, The Abyss. The Abyss isn't really a killer sea monster movie, though. But I get what you mean, the underwater movies. There's also the really piece of shit one by Roger Corman Productions. I forgot what the fuck. Lords of the Deep. That's a pretty awful film. But yeah, Deep Star 6, I do remember liking. I like the score. I like the. I mean, the score was done by Harry Manfredini. The effects for Deep Star 6, actually, some of it was done by TMB, because at the time TMB was working on the horror show. They were working on Intruder. They were working on quite a few films. TMB try and get their name out there. But I like Leviathan, The Abyss, Deep Star 6, Endless Descent, Hated the Evil Below. I agree with you on Unconditional Prawn. Definitely agree with you. Elm Street 5, we'll get to it. We're just getting started with January 1989. But yeah, The Evil Below. You know what? I saw The Evil Below. I don't remember that movie at all. I guess that goes to show you how I really feel about The Evil Below. I don't remember one bit of that. I haven't seen Blood Simple Emmanuel, but the conversation we're keeping with just 1989 going, I want to keep it on topic, just to let people know. So anyone have any other thoughts on Deep Star 6? I like Miguel Ferrer. I kind of wish he was the main character, because his character was the most interesting, I thought. Maybe I'm alone in that, but I actually felt sorry for his character. I thought his character got a raw deal. And his death is definitely the most memorable, where he gets depressurized. So, but yeah. Excellent miniature work and great cast. The atmosphere was tense. Great movie. But that's by KLR Thumper. But yeah, Deep Star 6, I don't think it's that bad of a film. I'm kind of surprised it doesn't have a Blu-ray release. Alex, Dan, we're just keeping with 1989. But Alex, I already reviewed Run with Patrick Dempsey. I prefer Depressurization and another 1989 film, Milton Crest. I don't know what Milton Crest is. Caracol actually did Deep Star 6. Caracol, which is funny because I always remember the Caracol logo and I always think of Rambo. But yeah, Caracol, TriStar Pictures released Deep Star 6. And the film did not do well. You do have Mia Peoples and a pretty decent cast. But moving along from Deep Star 6. Next up is The Experts. Yeah, Sean S. Cunningham directed Deep Star 6. Originally, it was going to be Robert Harmon who directed The Hitcher with Rutger Hauer. But if things didn't work out, so Sean S. Cunningham was not going to direct it at first, but the job fell on him. So he directed it. We'll get to many of the films you guys are mentioning, but I'm going step by step on release date, starting with Deep Star 6. And next up is The Experts. I don't know how many people seen this. I've seen this film. I thought it was all right. John Travolta film, R.E. Gross, Deborah Foreman, where it's these two guys wanting to open a dance, like a club, and they 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 think they're they don't realize they're in Russia. But it was all right. I think it was on YouTube or somewhere for free. Pretty funny movie. One of the few John Travolta comedy roles, but I think he does better in the action role. Yeah, I think Travolta does well with comedy. I thought he was pretty damn good in the film. I mean, believe it or not, it's directed by Dave Thomas. If those who don't know, he was one of the two in Strange Brew with Rick Moranis, one of the stars. And this is him directing the film, Dave Thomas. So it's still not on DVD and Blu-ray, but it's just only on VHS stuff forever. Somebody put out this movie, a la films. Yeah, The Experts, I mean, it was okay, but it's not a film so bad it doesn't deserve a DVD release, considering all the films that have gotten a release. It's ridiculous. So, but again, Augie Gross, for those who don't know, that's the guy who was in House 2, The Second Story. He was the star of that film. He plays the buddy of John Travolta, and the two of them. You also have Deborah Foreman from Waxwork, Kelly Preston, who I believe would go on to marry John Travolta. Experts was interesting. I always remember seeing it at the video store when I rented it. Thought it was pretty good. Cool. So next up, Ryan did with Todd. I'm just sort of keeping up with the Alex. I don't want to get off tangent. I'm sort of keeping with the theme that we have here, going step by step on this Wikipedia for films of 1989. So I apologize for that. But next up is Gleaming the Cube. Very, very underrated film with Christian Slater. Desperately deserves a Blu-ray release. I don't know how many you people have seen Gleaming the Cube, but it's very, very underrated. Same as Studios, I reviewed Harlem Nights when I did my Eddie Murphy marathon. You can check out the review. But sticking with the topic at hand, all you're missing out if you didn't see Gleaming the Cube. Christian Slater plays a skateboarder. His brother-in-law is murdered. He has an investigation to the death of his brother. Stephen Bauer from Scarface is a police officer. Tony Hawk has an appearance in it. A lot of skateboarders have an appearance in it. Gleaming the Cube is a highly underrated film. I love Gleaming the Cube. It was a good movie. Fun one. It was on Prime at one point. It's a Gladden film, so one thinks it's MGM owns it. Huh. Unconditional Prawn says that. I can't find Gleaming the Cube nowhere. Sad to say it's out of print. I think maybe you can get it on DVD overseas. But that's a film that easily deserves a Blu-ray release. Probably your best bet, Chaz, is Dinobot. It's not as much of a drama, Dinobot. It's got a lot of skateboard action. It's a little bit of a thriller, has some action in it. I would not call it a drama. I mean, they call it a drama, but I think there's some good action set pieces and skateboarding and things of that layer. So it's not surely a drama. So I would definitely recommend action crime thriller. Jesse said it best. So Chashire, Gleaming the Cube is my most wanted to be released on Blu-ray. Joel Butler, we're keeping on the theme here. I'm sorry, man. Where can you find it? Honestly, I would say go on Google, type in the name of the film, and see if someone uploaded onto YouTube or Dailymotion or some other avenue. I would say that's your best bet. And real quick, like to DJ, Indiana Jones: The Last Crusade was the highest grossing film worldwide, at least, of 1989. But yeah, Gleaming the Cube, very underrated film. Just Chet's still on Prime. Well, there you go. It's on Amazon Prime as well. Has anyone else seen Gleaming the Cube? It's, again, very underrated film with Christian Slater. If you like skateboard action, it's definitely worth a look. It's, I think, one of his better performances, to be honest. Just checking the chat here. If anyone else is seeing Gleam in the Cube, feel free before I move on. Because we're right now, we're at January of 1989. No, I haven't seen it. That's too bad, but that's what happens when a film's not on DVD for people to be able to see, let alone Blu-rays. A lot of these good movies and gems, they're not able to check it out, and that sucks. So streaming is going to be your best bet. Jose Gomez, I will get to it. Just we're not there yet on Halloween 5. We'll get there. So next up is a film that I thought was pretty disappointing, and that's called The January Man. Now, I don't know, how many of you have heard of The January Man? I'll ask that. FX showed Gleam the Cube last year, had recorded on DVR. Dinobot, I haven't seen it, read the synopsis, sounds pretty crazy. Maverick, yeah, you're right. Look at this cast, though. I mean, you got Kevin Kline, Susan Sarandon, Harvey Keitel, Danny Aiello, Rod Steiger, Mary Elizabeth Mastrantonio, Susan Sarandon. You have this insane cast, but it's such a it's a movie that's Alan Rickman is in it as well. Rest in peace, Alan Rickman. But it's such a waste of a good cast. I mean, it's trying to be funny, but it's not funny. Kevin Kline is a cop who, well, he was like he used to be a detective, and he's supposed to be like a big, smart detective, but he's quirky, and I was just one of those films that it didn't work as an action film. It didn't work as a comedy. It was disorganized. It was, I don't know if like the script was just a poor script. January Man was not very good. I was intrigued to see it because it was at the video store. Didn't know about it. Thought it was very bland. Yeah, I can see what you mean about it being bland. It seems like it would be a nice, quirky black comedy, but it really doesn't work. Yeah, I thought it was a letdown of a film. It's with the great cast. I mean, they did Kevin Kline, Susan Sarandon, Alan Rickman, Harvey Keitel, Danny Aiello, Rod Steiger. Yeah, the ending is this sort of lame foot chase where Kevin Kline gets dragged around a lot by the bad guy. Is played for laughs or quirky laughs, and it just didn't really work, and it was just a letdown. Should Dead Bang get a Blu-ray release? Absolutely, it's a wonderful film. Next up is Cohen and Tate. Now, for those who don't know, this is an Eric Red film. Eric Red is the same guy who helped write The Hitcher. He helped write Near Dark. He directed Body Parts, which is a very underrated film. Bad Moon. Yeah, DJ. It was definitely the script that let down the cast in January Man. Cohen and Tate is an interesting film with Roy Scheider, the man from Jaws, playing a hitman, a villain. And then Adam Baldwin from Full Metal Jacket. They're two hitmen who grab this kid after killing his family, and the kid sort of turns the tables on these two hitmen to try to get them to hate each other. And film fan, we'll get to that. I just don't want to get off topic. I'm going like month by month in 1989. I've seen Cohen and Tate. Roy Scheider makes the movie for me. Pretty brutal opening in the uncut version. Hope the Body Parts come to Blu-ray between this year. Well, it's Paramount, so don't hold your breath. That's cool, Justin Whitworth. Yeah, Cohen and Tate. It's a film that, if you do find the uncut version, there's some pretty brutal moments in that. And it was nice to see Roy Scheider play a pretty different role, pretty unique role. And I agree with Unconditional Prawn. Roy Scheider is the best part of the film. The kid was pretty decent too. I don't think the kid was that bad. I mean, I wouldn't say Cohen and Tate is a favorite of mine, but I think it's definitely worth one look if you're a fan of Eric Red, who wrote and directed it, or if you're a fan of Roy Scheider. It's definitely worth at least one look. I would say that. And next up is a film that I wasn't really a fan of, but Physical Evidence with Burt Reynolds. Rest in peace, Burt Reynolds. There's many Burt Reynolds films I enjoy, like Hooper and Smokey and the Bandit. But this one, Physical Evidence, not a big fan of it. It's a film where he's accused of a crime, but he didn't really do it. It was just kind of bogged down with slow pacing, and it wasn't that eventful. It was pretty boring. Sadly, a pretty lame, I thought, Burt Reynolds film. But it's directed by Michael Crichton. That's the interesting thing. Physical Evidence, directed by Michael Crichton. Now, Michael Crichton directed Runaway, which I love to death, with Tom Selleck. And this is, of course, the guy who wrote the novels for Jurassic Park and so many others. He directed a film called Colma. Physical Evidence is the worst thing Crichton was involved with, really dull. Yeah, it's sad to say you're right. Eye of the Tiger is a good movie with your reviews. But again, want to keep focus on here. The January of 1989, almost finished with it, but for those who just came in, we talked about Deep Star 6, Physical Evidence, The Experts, The January Man, Cohen and Tate, and Gleam in the Cube. Physical Evidence originally planned written Jagged Edge sequel. I never saw Jagged Edge, so I wouldn't know. But interesting because Burt Reynolds also did All Dogs Go to Heaven, which is a movie I'm not a big fan of. Okay, well, again, we're sort of sticking with January 1989, and then I'm going to go through each month, and we'll get to most of those movies people are talking about. Timeline is more going for it than Physical Evidence. That's man, that's a harsh thing to say, but true. And the last of January 1989 was Three Fugitives. I don't even know how many people have even seen Three Fugitives, because this was a surprise hit, and I thought it was a pretty decently fun film. It stars Nick Nolte and Martin Short. You also have James Earl Jones and Alan Ruck from Ferris Bueller's Day Off as two cops, as partners, going up against Nick Nolte, Martin Short, who have this little girl, and the three of them are on the run from the police. Love Three Fugitives, Martin Short, and Nick Nolte. Again, that's a film I don't even think has a Blu-ray release. But and it was a pretty decent hit when it came out. People forget about that. Some of these films are like, that was a hit? Yeah, it was a hit. Nick Nolte, when he wasn't Cancer Man, I hate to say it, or fucking ape shit crazy, or that's Nick Nolte nowadays. But this is when Nick Nolte was an actor, sad to say. Hey, took care of Godzilla. But yeah, Three Fugitives is a pretty fun one. I think it's worth a look for people who like the cast, like Nick Nolte, Martin Short, Yeah, Nolte and Short worked well together. Going to February of 1989, we have Her Alibi, which is a Tom Selleck film. Definitely not one of his best. Definitely not on par with 3 Men and a Baby or Runaway. It was cool to see William Daniels, and people who don't know who that is, that's the voice of Kit on Knight Rider. And he was on Boy Meets World. So him and Tom Selleck had some fun interaction with it. Yeah, James Earl Jones is a police officer in Three Fugitives. Him and Alan Ruck, the guy from Ferris Bueller's Day Off, who's the buddy of Matthew Broderick. He was also in film Speed and Twister. They're both police officers and partners go up against Nolte and Martin Short. So, pretty decently fun movie. Her Alibi, I did a review of that on the channel for those interested. It's there. I won't go much into the film. Kinjite, Forbidden Subjects. I'll get to Batman. That didn't come up till the summer. We're on February of 1989. I don't want to deviate and just go over the place. It just makes it easier to go through each of these films. But Kinjite Forbidden Subjects, that's when you get into the later years of Charles Bronson when he was with Canon Films. And sadly, that's one of the more forgettable ones. Definitely one of the more forgettable movies for Charles Bronson because a good chunk of it is like this guy who touched this girl on the bus or something. No, James Earl Jones is not the voice of Kit and Knight Rider. William Daniels is. But I don't even know. Has anyone even seen some Charles Bronson films like Kinjite Forbidden Subjects? Hello, Nick B. It's a pretty forgettable film, sad to say. And again, like it's a good chunk of it is this guy who felt up this girl, and it's not even worth talking about, really. The other one is worth talking about, and I did a review of this when I did my John Candy marathon, and that's Who's Harry Crumb. Now, come on, there has to be some people here who've seen Who's Harry Crumb. That's a pretty decent one. Again, I did a review of it because I reviewed all the John Candy films. I did a marathon reviewing all the John Candy films. There has to be some people in here who saw Who's Harry Crumb. If so, give me your thoughts on it. Haven't seen any Charles Bronson's films? Definitely recommend Death Wish 3. Love John Candy, so I've seen everything he has done. It was fun doing the John Candy marathon. It was always on Comedy Central, but never watched it. I think it's worth a look. It's not my favorite John Candy film, but he's definitely the reason to watch that movie. My favorite John Candy film is Summer Rental. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is up there too, and Uncle Buck and The Great Outdoors. So like those are some of my favorite John Candy films, but Who's Harry Crumb was a pretty fun one. Have it saved in my PVR folder. That's cool. Yeah, definitely check out more John Candy's film, Nippy. I really enjoy Summer Rental, The Great Outdoors. Nothing But Trouble I like. I'm a fan of Her Alibi, but I like An Innocent Man more. I agree. Barbecue Network, I definitely agree. Mr. Alec Ramsey, no, I'm going by month, and we're only in February of '89. The Abyss didn't come out to the summer, which we'll get to that. Just bear with me. It just makes it easier to do it this way. Yeah, I like Martin Short as an actor. Like I said, I liked him in Three Fugitives. I like Inner Space. Armed and Dangerous, that's a fun John Candy film. I did a review of that on the channel. Like I said, I reviewed all of John Candy's movies on the channel. So after Who's Harry Crumb, we have The Fly 2. Pretty underrated sequel. Nasdra is the first one. But The Fly 2, fun movie. Fun monster film. Especially the third act. Some really good gory effects. Now, come on. There has to be people who've seen The Fly 2. That's definitely something we need a conversation of. Nasdra is the first one. The love story's not as strong as the first movie. That's the weakest part of The Fly 2. But as a monster movie, it's entertaining. I like the effects. The elevator scene at the end where the guy's head get crushed, that alone is pretty damn good. No Cronenberg, no glory. I mean, it's not as good as the first, but I think it's definitely the movie with the arm wrestling scene. That's the first Fly. Jeff Goldblum does the arm wrestling move and breaks the arm. Whatever happened to Eric Stoltz, I don't know. Pretty dope. Effects are top notch. What do you guys, okay, for those who've seen the film, what did you think the first time you saw that scene with the elevator crushing the guy? Did you expect it to be that gory and that violent? Or was like, holy shit? Like, oh, fuck. That was surprising in a good way. I'm wondering what you guys' thoughts were on that. I didn't see what you mean on Untraditional Prawn, where the love story's not as good as the first one, but I still think for a monster movie, it still has some heart. The scene where the dog is euthanized because of its mutation, that's a pretty heartfelt scene. And it has a capable score, not as good as the first movie. Like I said, the makeup's really good. You know what though? I don't know if people will. Let me run something by you. Eric Stoltz is fine, but imagine what it would have been if it was James Spader as the lead in The Fly 2. I think that would have been a lot better. I don't mind Eric Stoltz, but James Spader, I always wanted to see James Spader in that role. I think that would have been even more wonderful. I thought the elevator head crush was awesome, hardcore. Favorite scene in the film besides the face melt. And you know what? Now that I remember, I think Vincent D'Onofrio was up for the role in The Fly 2, but they didn't give it to him. So Vincent D'Onofrio, that would have been interesting as well. He was up for that role. I just remember that now. It definitely would have been interesting and different to see Vincent D'Onofrio play that kind of role. I mean, I don't think Eric Stoltz did bad, but James Spader and Vincent D'Onofrio, I think, would have been even more interesting. Yeah, the director is Chris Walas, who's an effects guy, and yeah, he did The Vagrant after that. Oh, Keanu Reeves was going to be in The Fly too? He turned it down? Would have been interesting. Would have been interesting. Frotte, for everyone, what's your favorite makeup scene? James Jim Bob Smith. I reviewed Last Crusade. I like it. We'll get to those movies, folks. We're still on February 1989, but we'll definitely get to those films. But yes, I do like Last Crusade. That was what catapulted his career, so he probably made the better choice. Let's see. I guess no one wanted to answer my question. Okay, never mind. I guess I'll move on. Okay then. Okay, moving on. Sorry, I was waiting for a minute, but yeah, no one did not one answer from anybody with my question, but that's cool. So next up is Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. I reviewed that way back in the day. Very fun comedy. Keanu and Alex Winter worked really well together. You definitely have. I'm sure people here have seen Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. Ryan DeWitt, Todd, no, I moved. But I guess you haven't been keeping up with my channel for like the past month. I like both of the Bill and Ted movies, but well, okay. Let me ask you, what's your favorite? For anyone who saw the film, what is your favorite guy or individual they got back in time? Who's your favorite historical individual in Bill and Ted, and why? No, it says here February 1989. Nick B. George Carlin, may rest in peace. Let's see, we got Socrates, Socrates. Let's see. Oh, Brie Larson's Tane. Just watched the Steve Plan 3 trailer. I know you're a fan of the franchise, but this one looks like it has a blade badass action in it. Thanks for the super chat, but I disagree. I think it looks like a piece of shit. I saw nothing bloody or badass about it, but to each their own. But thank you, man. Napoleon in the Water Park is classic. That's fun. Jonah Ark is Jane Whelan of the Go-Go's, and her dancing cracks me up every time. Oh, that is her. That's right. She was on the special features, the documentary. That's right. Abe Lincoln, yeah. The chick with the sword, you mean Joan of Arc? Yeah, we'll get to some of those movies like Shocker and The Burbs, but we're on Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. George Carlin, may he rest in peace. Let's give it up for George Carlin, man. Rufus. a little moment for the guy here. The guy deserves it. Talented comedian. Even for a small role, he did a great job. Come on, everybody. Let's give it up for Mr. George Carlin, which he'll be sorely missed in Part 3, Bill and Ted 3. I mean, Gray maybe wasn't the biggest part of the films, but he was still a fun addition. There we go, yeah. Yeah, strange things are afoot at the Circle K. Yeah, with that, we're going to get into my all-time favorite Tom Hanks film, The Burbs. I love The Burbs. It's my favorite Joe Dante film. It's my favorite Tom Hanks film. I did a review of this on my channel long ago. Mr. Alan Ramsey, that's true. They would never do that today either because it'd be too un-PC. So that's surprising when you rewatch Bill and Ted. But The Burbs, my favorite Tom Hanks film. I want to kill everyone. Satan is good. Satan's our pal. Absolutely underrated classic. Glad I finally got a Blu-ray. Rick Dukeman, may he rest in peace. He was great as Tom Hanks' buddy. I love that guy. Loved that character. Bruce Dern was a lot of fun. The Burbs, favorite Joe Dante film as well. Just picked up The Burbs on Blu-ray yesterday. Yeah, great cat. What is your favorite scene in The Burbs? To everyone watching here, what's your favorite scene from The Burbs? I mean, you have the Ennio Morricone moment with they're going up the house and up close to every eyes, including the dog's eyes. You have the speech by Tom Hanks about the weirdness of neighbors, and they blow it up. And it's like, green sky and morning, neighbor take warning. Take warning. Green sky. What was it? What was that? Like green sky at morning, neighbor take warning. Green sky at night, neighbor take flight. Yeah, that was fun that they referenced Chainsaw Massacre 2. It's not every day you have a Tom Hanks film that references Chainsaw Massacre 2. Where Hanks is all burned up at the end, says, I'm hurt, I need to go to the hospital, and puts himself on the stretcher in the ambulance. That's a fun moment. The bones zoom in, zoom out scene cracked me up. That's a fun moment too. And yeah, Carrie Fisher, may she rest in peace. I always remember, I'll be honest, I always remember Carrie Fisher for this film than Star Wars. I know people think I'm crazy, but I watched this film more than the Star Wars movie. So I always remember her for this movie as the wife of Tom Hanks' character. Sorry, just looking at the chat. Yo, Runsfield! I think Brewston falls and accidentally shoots the window of his car. Tom Hanks was watching Mr. Rogers in the bird. Yeah, that's a fun moment when he's watching the Mr. Rogers and you hear that, "Won't you be my neighbor?" Oh, come on, there has to be more people who here who've seen the Burbs. Come on now, don't be shy. There has to be more people who've seen the Burbs. Do you think Corey Feldman got the TMNT role because of this movie? I don't think so, because this film wasn't a flop, but it wasn't like a huge hit either. Yeah, The Burbs is a lot of fun, very entertaining. You're chanting, right? You're chanting. I'm going to kill everyone. Satan is good. Satan's our pal. Once they've had it, they got you, pal. Yeah, I like Gremlins too. I reviewed the film, Alex. My favorite movie, Corey Feldman, also. I guess technically the first Ninja Turtles film, but not for Corey Feldman. I think Corey Feldman is one of the weakest part of the 1919 NT film. Oh, the end scene where Corey Feldman's like, "God, I love the street." That was a fun way to end the film. Good score too. Really nice score, musical score for the film. I want to say it was Jerry Goldsmith who did the score. I could be wrong, but I think it was. I want to check real quick. Yeah. Jerry Goldsmith, another guy, may rest in peace. Wonderful composer. So many great films he composed, Jerry Goldsmith. The extended version of The Burbs? I don't know if I've seen the extended version of The Burbs. Mr. Alec Ramsey? No, he doesn't get in the way. It's just not my preferred voice for Donatello. Because he sounds like Mikey Part 2. No, it wasn't Danny Elfman. It was Jerry Goldsmith who did the score. So many memorable moments. I agree, man. Yeah, I didn't care for the alternate ending to The Burbs. I'm fine with the ending we have. I know at one point there's going to be a downer ending where he dies. Oh yeah, I don't think I think I saw on VHS Mr. Alec Ramsey. But with The Burbs moving along with February 1989, a film I have not seen called The Mighty Quinn with Denzel Washington. That is a Denzel film I have not seen. And apparently M. Walsh and Robert Townsend's in the film. I have not seen The Mighty Quinn. I don't know if anyone in this chat has. If you can, you let me know your thoughts on The Mighty Quinn. Get a Denzel Washington film from 1989 that I don't think he's ever really talked about, to be honest. So, sorry, just look at the chat again. I kind of want to keep in tangent what we're talking about. I don't want to go on 50 different places, just to let you guys know. Christopher McAllister says it's a pretty decent flick. Okay. Moving on then. Definitely a film I recommend to people is True Believer. This is a James Woods and Robert Downey Jr. film with directed this movie. True Believer, very underrated film. It's a courtroom drama thriller and really good story, wonderful acting performances. James Woods and Robert Downey Jr. play off each other very, very well. One of the more underrated James Woods performances. Yeah, True Believer is definitely worth a look. It's about James Woods is this burned out attorney, and he like did a lot of stuff in the '60s. And Robert Downey Jr. is this young lawyer who's got these ideals and brings James Woods out of it to defend this Korean man who's in prison for murder. He killed someone in self-defense. They say, oh, well, he was innocent, but yeah, he had to kill someone in self-defense, so they have to try to get him out of jail. I've heard True Believer, but I've never got around to seeing it. I like the cast. True Believer is one I've been meaning to see, but never got around to it. But watch James Woods in pretty much anything. I like Cop, Gonzalo, but Dino Bog, you're missing out. I think True Believer is a good movie, man. Really good flick. Just because it's a drama doesn't mean it's a bad movie. Never heard of that True Believer. No, Joseph Rubin directed True Believer. That's the same guy who did The Stepfather. James Woods, the last thing I saw James Woods in was White House Down, I believe. Might have done something in between. But yeah, that's too bad. A lot of people have not seen True Believer. It's definitely worth a look. I like Videodrome Alex, but listen, I'm on this thing with 1989 films, man. It's cool, but it's like you keep ignoring what I'm saying, Alex, Stu. I don't understand that. Again, this the topic at hand. I don't want to go in 50 different places. Now, next up in February of 1989 is American Ninja 3, which the best thing about that is Steve James. My favorite's American Ninja 2, then 1, 3. It's there, but only for Steve James. Hey, Jack the Protector. Thanks for joining us. We're just talking about the films in 1989, going month by month. We're in the February 1989, and the next one up is American Ninja 3. Yes, rest in peace, Steve James. Hey, Mike. Hope you're doing well. Just talking about the films in 1989. Gonzalo, I reviewed all the Elm Street films. Feel free to watch those reviews, Gonzalo. Haven't seen any American Ninjas? That's too bad. I'd definitely recommend the first two. I've seen American Ninja 3, Steve James. Wanted Michael Dudikoff. They turned down, went to Platoon Leader. I can understand why. You could tell they slashed the budget pretty hard. It was much cheaper than Part 2 did. Yeah, that's true. And David Bradley is just not as good as Michael Dudikoff. Hate to say it, but in my opinion, that's the truth. They should have just had Steve James by himself instead of having David Bradley in there, to be perfectly honest. It's just, this is my opinion on it. But yeah, American Ninja 3, it's there. I reviewed the American Ninja films. I ranted on part 4 and 5. So those are pieces of shit. I know Mike didn't like them either. So going into March of '89, Dream a Little Dream. I gotta be honest, folks. I was never a big fan of Dream a Little Dream. Was Dudikoff considered for Spider-Man in the '80s? They wanted Dudikoff in everything with canon films. They promised him everything, and it didn't work out. Yeah, American Ninja 4 and 5 is pretty awful. But yeah, March of '89, Dream a Little Dream. I'm just not a fan of that film. I'm really not. And I don't mind Corey Haim and Corey Feldman, but not for that movie. Well, they did a little poster promo with Chuck Norris for American Ninja, but he said no. Mr. Alan Ramsey, we actually talked about Kinjite earlier. I've seen the film. It's pretty lame. Mike, I might keep it in mind. We can chat later, man. I definitely want to do that and catch up. Perhaps after the stream, if you're still up for it, but that's up to, not on here, but you know, just on Skype or something. A lot of people just haven't seen. Ryan DeWitt Todd, I don't know you, so I don't talk to people on Skype that I don't know. I'm sorry, man. But yeah, Dream a Little Dream. I apparently am alone in the fact that Jose Gomez, I will talk about Halloween 5. Relax. Cool your balls off. You don't have to mention it 5 times. Relax. I will talk about the film. Chill out. Speaking of '89, Tales from the Crypt started out that year. It just finished up season 2. Cool. Yeah, Dream a Little Dream even got a sequel, believe it or not, with sunglasses, special sunglasses. So it got even weirder. But Mr. Alan Ramsey, I'll get to that. That's not on the list yet, but I'll get to that. But after Dream a Little Dream, we have both of the Coreys were in the second one. Both of them starred in Dream a Little Dream 2. And I probably honestly like that more than the first one because the second one is more wacky. It's more wacky and goofy. It deals with sunglasses that can control people and totally different kind of movie than the first Dream a Little Dream. It's true, Mr. Alan Ramsey. Nothing to apologize about. But we have Lean on Me, which is a film I haven't seen that in forever. I know the guy who did Rocky directed it, John G. Alvinson, may he rest in peace. Stars Morgan Freeman. It's definitely critically acclaimed, but Lean on Me I haven't seen in a long, long time. UFO Fact or Fiction, we actually talked about Gleam in the Cube earlier in the stream. Very underrated film. I have a review of it on my channel. Damn, a lot of these movies people here haven't seen. Haven't seen it on me in forever as well. It's good, but can't remember much of it. I haven't seen that one. Well, I liked it. Morgan Freeman, Lean on Me, did around the same time as Driving Miss Daisy and Johnny Handsome. Saw part Lean on Me on TV. It was okay. Definitely, Mike. Definitely will chat with you later, man. Definitely talk to you later. I am on Wikipedia. I don't know if I'll try to paste it on here. It lets me. I'm in March of 1989. Skin Deep. That's a John Ritter film I have not seen. Alex, I will get to it. Relax. Joseph Rubin, yes, he also did Sleeping with the Enemy. Deep Star 6, Ryan W., we actually talked about that, or one of the first things on the stream. I like Deep Star 6. I reviewed it on my channel. Not as good as Leviathan, but I like Deep Star 6. Skin Deep is one of those John Ritter films. Yeah, Lean on Me is Morgan Freeman as the principal of a school. Skin Deep with John Ritter, I only remember the clip on YouTube where it's the glow-in-the-dark condoms, and you can only see glow-in-the-dark condoms. That's all I remember of. I haven't seen the movie, but there's a clip on YouTube, like John Ritter and someone else. It's a glow-in-the-dark condom, and you only see that in the dark. Don't believe me? Look it up on YouTube. But I want to see that film. I like John Ritter. May he rest in peace. John Ritter is a very talented guy. Rest in peace, John Ritter. Let's see. Just looking at the chat. Blake Edwards. So yeah, that was the person who directed it. R.P. John Ritter. He did play on Three's Company TV show. Yeah, the next one is The Adventures of Baron Munchausen. I could never get into the film, but I'm not a big Terry Gilliam fan, other than Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. That's really the only film of his I truly enjoy of Terry Gilliam is Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. I know people will be pissed at me for that, but I'm not a Terry Gilliam fan. I'm really not. Maybe I'm alone in that, but I think a lot of his movies are overrated. I'm glad Terry Gilliam didn't do Watchmen. I'm not a fan of the director. I didn't. Other than Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, I truly enjoy. That's really like the only Terry Gilliam film I enjoy. Brazil, I didn't like the bullshit ending. Oh, he's lobotomized. Terry Gilliam does that a lot, which I'm not a fan of. Oh no, the guy's lobotomized. Fuck you, audience. Message. Is 1989 my favorite year of movies? No, but it's a good year. I picked it because it's an anniversary for that year. But yeah, Time Bandits. You know, a lot of his endings are fucking awful. Time Bandits has an awful fucking ending, in my opinion. Awful fucking ending. Adventures of Baron Munchausen, I don't remember much about it other than Robin Williams had a role in it. 12 Monkeys, I hated the fucking ending to that movie. Time Bandits. Here's this kid, and he got fucked over because they dragged his ass on this fucking adventure. And then his parents, even though they're shitty, they're dead, and now he's homeless, and he has no family. He's gonna live on the streets, probably sucking dick for money. And here's your ending. Great, the kid's gonna be homeless, sucking dick for cash. Great, Time Bandits. That's the gist of the story. They turn the kid into a cocksucker. He'll be sucking dick for pennies. Cue the Time Bandit song at the end. I don't know who Terry Jones is. Hey, open-minded movie man, we're just talking about films of 1989. The only ending I've seen is the lobotomized ending of Brazil, and I didn't care for it. Yeah. Other than Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, that's the only film of his I enjoy. I don't. Has anyone even seen Adventures of Baron Munchausen? If not, I'll move on. Skip a couple of these. I guess I'll move on to Police Academy 6, City Under Siege. Jesus Christ. How many actually like the Police Academy films? I like the first 4. I like the first 4 Police Academy movies. But how many like Police Academy? And if so, which ones? No, that was 5 in Miami. This was what was his Matt McCoy. It's called City Under Siege. It was like trying, not a murder mystery, but like a fucking, I don't know how the hell you put it. Oh, I can't remember Police Academy 6. I just remember it being awful. I only liked the first 4 with Steve Gutenberg. When he left, the franchise should have just died. Because 5, 6, and 7, who gives a fuck about those movies? Like, who gives a fuck about the films without Steve Gutenberg? But I mean, some of them kept in it. Michael Winslow kept in it. Bubba Smith, David Graff as Tackleberry, may he rest in peace. How you go from Steve Gutenberg to Matt McCoy? It was Matt McCoy's year. He did Deep Star 6 and he did this movie. But the title says the topic. We're talking about films in 1989. Perry Fan 49, that's 1999 films. 1999 films. We're talking about 1989. The one for tomorrow is for 1999. Goldthwait was in 2, 3, and 4. And right now we're at March of 1989, and we're talking about Police Academy 6, which, like I said, the first 4 to me are the only good ones. When Steve Gutenberg left, the fucking franchise went to hell. Gonzalo, we're not there yet. That's in the summer. We'll get to it. No, I mean, actually, not the summer. We're in March of '89. Yeah, that's Leslie Easterbrook, Mr. Alan Ramsey. That's her name. Bobcat Goldthwait isn't in Caddyshack 2. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't think Bobcat Goldthwait isn't in Caddyshack 2. What do you mean? I don't remember him in Caddyshack 2. I don't think he's in Caddyshack 2. Rhymed with Todd. So next up, because I doubt anyone's going to have any much to say about Police Academy 6. Fletch Lives. Was he thinking Hot to Trot? Maybe. I reviewed Hot to Trot when I did my John Candy marathon. Hot to Trot is an awful fucking movie. Awful fucking film. But yeah, Fletch Lives is the next one to come out in 1989. Who the hell remembers Fletch Lives? I mean, the first Fletch is good. The sequel I don't remember much about, to be honest. But yeah, Fletch Lives. Has anyone other than Open-Minded Movie Man seen Fletch Lives? No, there's a couple people who've seen it. No, I haven't seen Steam Deep Z. We actually talked about that about 10 minutes ago. Really, no one has seen the film, including me. You hate Chevy Chase? I like Chevy Chase. I like Nothing But Trouble. I like National Lampoon's Vacation films, some of them. I like the first Fletch, Caddyshack. So, I think I remember it not being as good as the first Fletch. That's what I remember about it. But I know I have it on DVD around here somewhere. Good score by Harold Faltermeyer. Yeah, Mike OTP did a review of it. Well, we'll get to this one. You guys know my thoughts on this film. You should, if you follow my channel. Leviathan, one of my all-time favorite films of all time. All time. I talk about this film all the time. Leviathan, I love it to death. Didn't see The Rescuers. Z. Leviathan, I love to death. I don't know what more I can say about it. I love the aesthetic. I love the look. I love the cast. I love the music by Jerry Goldsmith. Yeah, Leviathan poster. That wasn't even on purpose. Leviathan makes me feel better, a lot better, exactly. Yeah, sad Leviathan flopped when it came out. Gone? Bitch, we're still here. I think if I hear you call me Becky one more time, six-pack, we'll pop your tops. All 6 of them. Beck, you made it. How do you feel? Better. A lot better. I mean, you got a wonderful cast, memorable lines of dialogue. You got. That's my only problem with the film. Ernie Hudson's character should have lived. That's my only problem. Even Ernie Hudson thinks so. But Daniel Stern did a good job in the film. He got pushed up into the helmet. We just buried the helmet. That could have happened to you, DeJesus. Yeah, you know about imploding. You're imploding in your pants. Ah, man. It's so cool to see more than just me being a fan of Leviathan. I'm probably the one guy on YouTube that talks about Leviathan the most. Damn it, trying to get my leg up here. Cross it. Hot as hell. Thus the shorts. Dylan Sudduth, we're just talking about films in 1989, in particular March right now. We're talking about Leviathan. Ryan DeWitt Todd, I'm sorry, Congo I love. I think it's a highly underrated movie. Don't agree with you one bit. So what are your guys' thoughts on Leviathan? Let's hear it out there. Godzilla, I already reviewed every single Godzilla film. It's on the channel. I'm not going to talk about Sphere, man. I don't want to get off topic. We're talking about the films in 1989. Right now, we're talking about Leviathan. So, real quick, like, I do have the film. I like it for what it is. Leviathan is Alien and the Thing, but underwater, with a great cast, good effects, beautiful score by Jerry Goldsmith. Peter Weller punches Meg Foster in the face. Let's see, what do we have for comments here on Leviathan? We got going down here. Let's see. Why don't films now have great scores like Ghostbusters score and Leviathan? I wish I knew, John. I wish I knew. Great film, Dinobot. Great film, DJ Donnelly. Last 5 Seconds, Leviathan. Pow, Ryan the Kisser, Zally. Love Leviathan, great film. Drew Michael, Leviathan's a damn good movie. Leviathan's a badass film that deserves more attention. Z, it's way better than The Abyss, which stole the spotlight. I agree, Soul Scorch. I like The Abyss, which we'll get to, but Leviathan is my favorite. Soul Scorcher, definitely agree with you on that. I agree on the fact they could use more features, and Woodworth and Gillis, they're fucking fucktards, Woodworth and Gillis, because they directed that piece of shit Harbinger down, but they want to talk shit about Leviathan. Man can tell I recommend Leviathan if you like the cast. Leviathan is a biblical creature the Bible mentions a Leviathan. Yeah, I know that. Leviathan, one of the best creature features. Cool. Stan Winston did work on it. That's true. Lords of the Deep is a piece of shit. 976 Evil, we'll get to that. Where we're sort of, I don't want to go all over the place. The Blu-ray DJ, the Blu-ray Leviathan looks great. The picture quality looks wonderful. It's just the features are not the best, but yeah, that would be in my top 3 favorite Jerry Goldsmith scores, the score to Leviathan. No, I love Peter Weller Leviathan. I think he works perfectly in that film. I would not swap him with Ed Harris from The Abyss. I think Peter Weller works perfectly in Leviathan. Hey, David Paul Blanchard. Leviathan had more in it that I liked. Yeah, I agree, Z. Great fun film that's guaranteed a good time with a few cans of soda and some snacks. I agree. Yeah, we'll get to The Abyss. That's coming up. I'm in March of 1989. We're talking about Leviathan. If you like Peter Weller, I think that's one of his best roles because he's just a regular guy. He's a blue collar guy, and he has some great lines. You know, call me Becky one more time, six pack, and we'll pop your tops, all six of them. Say ah, motherfucker, and blows up a creature. I saw Deep Rising and Leviathan both on the same day. That's a great double feature. If The Abyss would have been better with Peter Weller, I like Ed Harris, so I think they worked out fine for what they were. Yeah, Marco Carmine, Richard. That's sad when you look at Leviathan. Look at this, folks. Just wait 1 second. Just wait 1 second, folks. Let me run you a list of names that Leviathan is involved with. George P. Cosmatos, the director, passed away. Richard Crenna, actor, passed away. Marco Carmine, actor, passed away. Stan Winston, who did the effects, passed away. Jerry Goldsmith, who did the score, passed away. Just look at all the people who passed away. The director, the big effects guy, two of the actors, the composer. It's really sad when you think about it. And that's 30 years ago. It's not 80. It's not 100. It's just 30. No, it's not curse. It's just sad because that's time. And, you know, it shows their the good work that they did lives on, in my opinion. And that's with Leviathan. I'll always talk about that film because it deserves to be talked about, and it's incredibly underrated. Oh yeah, George P. Cosmatos did Of Unknown Origin, which is a very underrated film with Peter Weller. Rambo 2, which I love to death, of course. Cobra, Tombstone. The Shadow Conspiracy, not so much. I mean, you asked me which do I have better, The Thing or Leviathan. The Thing is John Carpenter, so it's a better directed movie. Leviathan is a childhood favorite, so I don't know. I would always say The Thing because but then for childhood favorite, Leviathan I watch more, so I don't know. I have to think about that. Video Vault guy, we're talking about 1989 films. I'm going on Wikipedia down the list, and we're talking about Leviathan right now, which you know is a favorite of mine. We talked about Deep Star 6 and quite a few other films, but we're in March of '89, and Leviathan is the topic at hand, which I'm spending some time on because it's a personal favorite of mine. Thank you, Murray. What's your favorite line of dialogue in Leviathan for those who enjoy the film? Type the line in the chat. What's your favorite line in from Leviathan? Or your favorite scene? Let people give a chance to answer. Ooh, ooh. Sorry for the silence, folks who watch this after, but I'm just letting people pop your tops quote. Yeah. Oh, the Steve quote. How can you just go, shh, shh, after what we just been through? They don't Steve in Harlem, you hear me? Or whatever he said. Like, better That's a great one. Great way to end the film. It's a dialogue. Memorable. See, right now, people are listing different lines. It's not just one line. Try to find that in a movie nowadays that's a creature feature. Rob Bottin, Stan Winston, that's hard to choose. They're both pretty damn good for what they did. How do you feel? Better. A lot better. Okay, one last thing about Leviathan, then we'll move on. Why is Leviathan so hated? Why is Leviathan so trashed? Can someone answer me that? Why is Leviathan so trashed and hated on? Why is this so forgotten? I'd like to hear your guys' input on that. Get your guys' thoughts on that. Because I don't get it. I don't think the film's that bad at all. I never understood the hate for it. I never understood the disregard and just... Even Roger Ebert gave it a thumbs up. Written off as a cheesy B movie. People don't do their history. People have bad taste. Video Vote guy, I agree with you. Hey, Portal Player, we're just talking about films of '89. We're in March. Talking about Leviathan. No, Alex, it was Roger Ebert. Gene Siskel gave it a thumbs down. Is that grandiose? I think that's a good thing. It borrows elements from the theme of Alien. Alien borrowed elements. People forget that Alien, the original, borrowed elements. Do people forget Planet of the Vampires? They borrowed elements from that, but people don't hate Alien. Called classic, deployed in theaters, but found its audience in VHS, where a lot of '80s gems were discovered. People thought it was too similar to other movies around the time. Yeah, I hate cheesy and corny. I hate that shit. People didn't want to give it a chance. I wish I knew. Yeah. Sad but true. Sad but true. But it was great to see a lot of love for Leviathan. I'm glad I'm not the only one who loves the film. So that's always nice to see. Very, very nice to see. I have to, Dinobot, I have to do slow mode. Otherwise, I would not be able to read any comments. No, Leviathan didn't need a sequel. It's fine as a one-note thing. Leviathan is going to be on the big screen an hour away from you. I wish I was with you, man. We could go together. I wish more than anything, man. John, I really do wish. Gonzalo, we actually talked about Deep Star 6 at the beginning of the stream. I liked the film. I reviewed it. It is funny, though, Video Vault guy, that despite the film bombing, that's the only fucking one that got a Blu-ray, funny enough, of those underwater movies. Leviathan's the only one that got a Blu-ray, so maybe that says something. Broadzilla, I'm not really interested in watching The Star is Born. Sorry, man. But yeah, we're on topic here. Yes, I reviewed that, Alex. But every time you comment, man, it's like a movie I've already reviewed. Not into me. I've said that literally 20 to 30 times to you in these past streams, Alex, too. I don't know what you're doing. If you're just trying to make me mad or what the deal is, man. But moving on from Leviathan, Rooftops I never saw, so I can't say anything about it. 976 Evil. I did a review of that film. It's all right, mainly for Stephen Jeffries' performance. Rooftops was one that would always show up on tapes at the time for some reason. I think it was on VHS of Deep Star 6. Space or underwater creature films, what you like more? Just depends on the movie itself. Jose Gomez, calm the fuck down. We will get to it. Otherwise, just leave. Or you know what? Watch my rant on Halloween 5. I ranted on the film already. I have a review of it. If you can't wait, just go to my channel and watch the review. Calm your tits. Go jerk off. And then come back. Maybe you'll relax. 976 Evil, yeah, Robert Englund directed. That was the big thing. And it did. I have the Blu-ray. It was cool that Robert Englund did a commentary on it, talked about the process of directing the film. I know the film. I don't know if it did that well, but well, it did get a sequel, which I didn't see the sequel. But I mean, Stephen Jeffries was interesting, but it's kind of like they wanted to make him likable, but then they kind of 976 Evil is a decent one. The longer version is my preferred version. 976 Evil was a very interesting movie for me. Thank you, Z. Thank you for the nice words. But yeah, 976 Evil, it's a decent film that could have been better because it tried to have a humanity for the character, but then at the end they disregard any humanity for the character. You get what I mean? Like they were trying to like build him up like he's a guy to feel sorry for, but then none of that is really in the window for the finale. I don't know if that makes sense to people who've seen the film. I don't know. Robert Englund said he made the devil voice sound too much like Freddy Krueger. I never noticed that. I never thought of that, to be honest. I never put that together. I'm surprised. I thought more people had seen 976 Evil, which is like a lot more people have seen the horror films. Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, I thought more people had seen. Robert Englund isn't in it. He directed it, DJ Donnelly. He directed the film. He's not in the film. I haven't never watched it yet. Okay. Yeah, I guess no one really has anything else to say about that film, so I guess we'll move on to Dead Bang. Probably my favorite film, was directed by John Frankenheimer. Very underrated film. Yes, I'm watching old episodes of Scare Tactics as I'm doing this, just to give me something to look over instead of just the computer screen. Yeah, Dead Bane, very, very underrated film. Don Johnson, wonderful job. I think this should have catapulted him to bigger and better roles. That is a good scene on Additional Prawn. I've seen bits and pieces of Miami Vice, but I prefer Dead Bane more. Definitely underrated film. Deserves a Blu-ray release. Easily deserves it. I think what hurt the film, it has an awful trailer, and the name kind of sucks if you think about it. Dead Bang. Like maybe nowadays I like the name, but for advertising, do you think about, hey, I'm going to see this movie. What's it called? It's called Dead Bang. What the fuck is a dead bang? Dead? A bang that's dead? I mean, so I'm not sure if the title hurt the film's chances. But yeah, Dead Bang is a very fun movie. Don Johnson does a wonderful job. Take care of Mr. Alec Ramsey. Don Johnson tracks this white supremacist group and takes care of business. You have Tim Reed, who was in the original Stephen King's It. William Forsythe playing a very different character, who's very like uptight guy, like FBI type of guy. Very different role for William Forsythe. Yes, the director also did The French Connection too, which I actually like more than the first one, to be honest. That's William Forsythe, yeah. I hate your use of foul language. He doesn't approve of swear words. Yeah, very different type of William Forsythe. That Bane sounds like a trippy Asian martial arts movie. No, not quite. But it's still a pretty underrated. Oh yeah, like Michael Jeter is in it. And what did he say he looked like? He looked like Woody Allen. Was that what it was? He made fun of the guy because he looked like Woody Allen. Because he was on a psychiatrist. God, what was the line of dialogue in that? It's like, if I get pulled off because I'm laughing because you look like Woody Allen, I will make your life a living hell. Innocent Bystander, I reviewed the film. The review of that's on the channel. But we're sticking with 1989 films with this topic at hand. And right now we're in March of '89. Dead Bane, very underrated film. If you like action films, definitely. There you go. Yeah, unconditional prompts on it. You will never feel safe in your world again. Definitely recommend Dead Bane to anyone who's a fan of action films. Badass character that Don Johnson plays going after white supremacists. Deserves a lot more than it got. So after Dead Bane, Two Beverly Hills, I don't know anything about, didn't watch it, can't say anything about it. Why do you think Don Johnson didn't take off lead-wise? Because the films he was in bombed. He starred in Dead Bane. That was a big bomb. And that's the thing, if a film bombs, that's sort of, you go to actor jail or director's jail. And they're like, well, this guy can't hold a movie. Yep, Afterlife Channel, you got it. That is the movie. He's running after a guy, chasing after a guy, and he got so tired from running, he puked on the guy, which, to be honest, is probably more realistic than a lot of films do it. So, but yes, that is the same movie, Astrolife Channel, the same film. Yeah, that film bombed too. Harley Davidson, the Marlboro Man. And then they're like, well, we can't put this guy starring in movies because they about to. That's part of the game of starring in movies. I think Barbara Jean Network is behind. I think he's back to, we were talking about Leviathan. But yeah, True Beverly Hills, I don't know anything about, so I'm not going to talk about. Heathers. Heathers is a really good film. From the director, they would go on to do Hudson Hawk, which I like Hudson Hawk. But Heathers, I reviewed that on the channel. Very, very good black comedy. I love my dead gay son. I love my dead gay son. You can't. I know they tried to do a TV show, whatever the fuck it was. What was it? A TV show? I'm like, how the fuck do you do a TV show nowadays of Heathers? Was that what the fuck they tried to do? I'm like, how? How? That's cool, John. Thanks for stopping by. Have a good night, man. No, I haven't talked about that Video Vault guy. We'll get to it. I'm going through months. We're in March of '89, talking about Heathers. Wasn't that a TV show they tried to do? Something like that? I don't know what the fuck for. But it's a pretty crazy movie. Pretty funny. Risky. Ballsy movie. Deals with teen suicide. The Punisher is probably... It went straight to video. Yeah, I remember. It didn't go to theaters, and Wikipedia is probably going to show the films that went to theaters. So I'll talk about that in a little bit when I get into the summer, just because. But Heathers, come on, I'm sure there's other people on here who've seen Heathers. Come on now. Don't be shy. Christian Slater went crazy in that movie. That's true. That's definitely true. Good year for Christian Slater. Gleam in the Cube, which is good. I reviewed Heathers. I recommend Heathers. If you like black comedies, really ballsy stuff that they would not do today. Some fun lines. It plays with teen suicide in a risky, ballsy, black comedic manner, and I thought it did it very effectively. Some fun scenes. I love my dead gay son, the father says. If you don't know what that is, just look up on YouTube. But yeah, definitely recommend, easily recommend Heathers. Now we get to April of 1989, and we get to a favorite of mine when I did my Jean-Claude Van Damme marathon, where I reviewed all of his films, Cyborg. I saw this film when I was a kid. many times when I was a kid. I grew up with this movie. I know it's cheap and low budget, but I love what it did. I love the action scenes. I love the villain. I love the misery. I love this world. I love the musical score. I love the old school fight scenes. I love the crucifixion scene. That's badass. I never got the Scream Factory one. I just didn't see a point to it. No, I would not see a sequel to it, Barbecue Network. I disagree, Jesse Swarbrick. We agree to disagree. Cyborg is one of my favorites. I love the sci-fi element. The director's cut's still a piece of shit. Yes. Unneeded narration, trying to be pretentious when it doesn't need to be. Van Damme did the right decision to get that away from the director and have it re-edited. Because the director's cut is a piece of shit. If the director's cut came out, it wouldn't have the cult audience it has. But yeah, a lot of great moments. I mean, you have the scene. I mean, there's stuff on that where they use some of the sets that were going to be for Spider-Man, and then they dirtied it up for the a future setting. Didn't care for Cyborg at first, but it's grown on me. It got the Screen Factory on sale, pretty mediocre release. Good pictures, some interviews with the guy that played Fender. I'll just stick with the old Blu-ray I have. I don't feel like paying $20 for nothing much. Just a lot of moments that worked well in that film for me. There's the weapon that comes out of his foot, and he does a kick and cuts the guy in the neck. There's a scene where he's got his legs out, and he has a knife, and the editing between the guy's face looking up and Van Damme's face looking down is a really wonderful piece of editing, back and forth, like slamming down on the guy's face. There's the fight in the marsh, which is a cool location for a fight. It has a nice background with the wet and the marsh. Beautiful slow motion helicopter kick. Fender, I know that wasn't his voice, but what they did with his voice I approve of. Fender, fucker. The crucifixion scene, as a kid, that really talked to me when he's like this and he kicks the fucker down. That's badass. When you crucify, even Jesus couldn't do that. Think about it. Another JC did it, called John Claude. Jesus Christ didn't do it, but John Claude did it. So that's what people mean by what would JC do. They're talking about John Claude. He kicks the fucking crucifix thing down. Fuck being crucified. Yeah, the MPA I think fucked around with that. I agree, Cody. I mean, we already talked about Gleam in the Cube, Cyborg, Leviathan, and The Fly 2, and I'm only at the start of April, and a lot of good movies compared to shit this year, and a lot more to come. A lot more good stuff to come. Cyborg's the Mad Max of canon films. I could see that. Terminator Cyborg, I don't know. I like both. Fender's a fun villain. Fender, fucker. He has the Meg Foster eyes. Great voice. Van Damme, yes, he was rough in the acting, but it worked for the character he was playing, and I could excuse it. That was more about presence, and Van Damme had the presence. I love the nail gun he has too, like that fucking nail gun. That's the thing. There's a lot of good little bits in that movie that speak out to me. Like I said, the leg split with thrusting the knife down, and the weapon out of his foot cutting the guy's neck. The way Van Damme's fight scenes were edited back in the day with that repeat, bah, bah, bah. It's like music. I like that editing. They don't do that nowadays because it's cheesy. But I like the editing, like bah, bah, bah. It's like a musical note. It's like a melody with rhythm of his fight scenes back in the day. So I miss films like that, and that was done on a shoestring budget. That was not done on a big budget at all. That was done really, really cheap. Now we're at the beginning of April '89. Talking about Cyborg. We'll get to those though. 1999 way better than 2019, of course. There's no question about that. Let's see. We'll get to that, folks. We're not there yet. We're in April '89. We'll get to Last Crusade. We'll get to those movies. We're in April of '89 right now. Just looking at the chat some more. Let's see. '89, we have Dead Calm, which I haven't seen in forever. That's the one with Sam Neill and Billy Zane. The Dream Team, I think I reviewed. Maybe not. Maybe I didn't review it, but decent film. I mean, yeah, Michael Keaton, Christopher Lloyd, Peter Boyle. Interesting flick for the cast. I mean, that film's worth a look just for the cast itself. I mean, again, yeah, Michael Keaton, Christopher Lloyd, Peter Boyle, and then Stephen First from Animal House as these four mental patients, and their doctor. Well, I remember the doctor. He was in Batteries Not Included. He had like a beard and stuff. Major League, fun baseball comedy. I'm not really a fan of baseball, but I think that movie is still pretty damn funny. Tom Berenger, Charlie Sheen, Corbin Burnson, of course Dennis Haysbert with his little voodoo thing. Fuck you! I'll do it myself. I still remember that. Like, maybe he doesn't say "fuck you," but at the end of Major League, where he's like, "I do it myself." What was it that he says? Like, "You go to hell. I do it myself." You know, Jobu. Yeah. Pedro Serrano did his days where he was great in that. Love Major League is a hilarious film, and Wesley Snipes. Keep forgetting Wesley Snipes was in that movie. I always forget that. And then the sequel they had Omar Epps. But yeah, Major League, I thought they did a good job, considering I'm not a fan of baseball, of utilizing these characters, having them give colorful personalities. And then how they get together because this one bitch that they hate, and they keep winning. They keep taking pieces of her clothes off of this standee they have. Yeah, that was Wesley Snipes' bit, the American Express card. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why the sequels were just they were piss poor compared to the first Major League. Really, you didn't need sequels. I mean, if they won, they did well. What the fuck do you need sequels for? So that was one of the reasons. And Major League 2, they made Charlie Sheen's character so unlikable. It really hurt the film. Major League 3, I don't remember much about. Scott Bakula's in it. That's all I remember. But yeah, it didn't need sequels. But the first Major League, yeah, I mean, that's all you needed. Sometimes you don't need sequels, folks, even though the film's a hit. Major League is a primary example of that. Third one was even more pointless. Scott Bakula and the girl from Jason Takes Manhattan. That's who it was? The girl from Jason Takes Manhattan? Holy shit. Man, I didn't fucking know that. Frame by frame, no, but we're just talking about on topic the films of '89. We're in April of '89. I don't really want to talk about any new films. Randy Quaid, wasn't he the heckler in the sequel? If so, I really did not like that. That's one of the other things I didn't like about the sequel. Yes, I like that poster, Gonzalo. Well, you know what? Since a few people have asked about it, it's not going to be on the list because it came out direct to video. Let's talk about The Punisher, 1989. We'll go next to that, and then we'll go back to disorganized crime. But yeah, The Punisher from '89. Love The Punisher from '89. Love that film tremendously. Great movie. I reviewed that film multiple times. I reviewed it when I did the Dolph Lundgren Marathon. I love The Punisher from '89. Grew up with the film. Still love it to this day. Never understood the hate for it. Never understood the hate for it. He doesn't have the food. Neither do any of the fucking X-Men characters, but they don't fucking hate the movies for that. I'll talk about those later when we get to them. Louis Gossett Jr. was pretty cool when he beat the guy up with the pizza. Is there an IQ test for this job? No. No, I didn't think so. No, actually, that he did that. Then he beat up the guy with the pizza. That's what it was. I mean, Dolph Lundgren's a badass. You have a really competent direction, big body count, huge body count. I mean, the bodies hit the floor in that movie, and I mean, he's fucking throwing knives in the people's heads. Okay, Will Rube, I'm gonna give you one chance. If you don't, Will Rube, you did this before in the last stream. I'm not gonna have you derail this stream again. One more dumb question, I'm just banning you. Okay? Because you did this shit last time. I'm giving you one chance, Will. Or you be giving you one chance. You asked dumb questions the last time you were in it. I think you're just trolling, trying to troll me. I'm not gonna let you derail another fucking thing. Alright? Yeah, Punisher Warzone I didn't care for. Did not like Punisher Warzone at all. Did not like the guy who played Punisher. Didn't much prefer Dolph or Thomas Jane. Maybe if you type it on YouTube, you might find it on YouTube, Barbecue Network. But I love the musical score in the '89 Punisher. Dolph Lundgren does a great job, as does Louis Gossett Jr. I love the action set pieces. He goes on the zip line and shoots the shit out of people. He's shooting people with shotguns, including in the face. He's again throwing knives into people's heads. It felt like a Cannon film to me. That's a good thing. The Blu-ray overseas by Umbrella Entertainment. The fact that kids are in danger and the nannies are being murdered right in front of them is pretty damn risky and ballsy. Yeah, I like dialogue like Z mentioned right there. You're a good boy. You grow up to be a good man. Because if you don't, I'll be waiting. Uh, Even the opening credits where you have like the people and they get blown up in the glass in the opening credits. Exactly. Punisher '89, Caution Boxing. Very underrated film. I reviewed that when I did my Dolph Lundgren marathon. Well, no, John Wick is better, but they have more of a budget. For the budget Punisher has in '89, they did a really good job for the budget that they had. Yeah, what do you call 160 some murders in 5 years? Work in progress. You know, there's a limit to revenge. Just haven't reached mine yet. Hell, when they shoot the shit out of 50 people trying to pull their swords out, and he's like, fuck you, fuck fair. See, that's the Punisher to me. Hey, all these guys don't have guns, they have swords, fuck it. Shoots like 50 people in that one room, and then takes a sword and stabs someone. That's the Punisher. That's the fucking Punisher. I guarantee you, there's more fucking action in Dolph's Punisher than those Netflix shows. And I've never even seen the Netflix shows of the Punisher. But I guarantee you there's more action in the '89 Punisher in one movie than there is in the entire season or two of the Punisher show. I could be wrong, but I wouldn't be surprised. Fuck it. You know what? Fuck the guy. Sorry, Will Rube. Suck it. Yes, there is. It's irritating. Well, that fucking figures. Yeah, Canon film. Well, no, Canon film. It wasn't Canon Films. I don't think. I don't think Punisher '89 was Canon Films. It was. It was a. It was a Roger Corman company. What was it called? It was. Fuck. New. God damn it! It was red. It was like a circle. Fuck. What was the fuck? It was a Roger Corman production that went out of business at the time. But yes, it wasn't Canon Films. New World. Thank you. New World. New World Pictures. Thank you. There you go. New World Pictures. Thank you, guys. And it was supposed to go in the theaters. It got fucked over, so it went straight to video. There's even a Batman reference, which is fun. Who sent you? Batman. That's maybe they did a reference because they knew Batman was coming out. Top Marvel films, I guess. I don't care that there's no skull on the shirt because people love the X-Men films. They don't have their fucking costumes. Did Wolverine ever wear his costume? Let me ask you guys that. Did Wolverine ever wear his costume? Yes or no? Did Wolverine, and no one said shit about it. In the first X-Men, they even make fun of it. What, you want to wear yellow spandex? But people gave that the pass. Well, I think you can reference Batman. You just can't show it, but I'm sure you can reference it. Oh, one thumbs down is probably Will Rube. Sorry, man. I gave you warnings. You want to be a fucking jackass? Fuck off. I'm tired of your shit. Sometimes I don't have to be a nice guy, folks. Sorry. I can be a jerk and I'm fine with it. I'm content with it. '99 films later bought by Live Entertainment. I remember that because they must have released Jacob's Ladder because I remember the Punisher VHS tape had a preview of the Nintendo game and then it had a trailer for Jacob's Ladder. Oh, he was just talking about how I trusted you, Matt, and I saw John Wick 3 and it was diarrhea. I'm like, you know what? You're fucking diarrhea. AK shit. Take your shit taste and get the fuck off my channel. I'm just tired of his bullshit. It was no, Jacob's Ladder was 1990. That's what I mean. When the VHS came out of Punisher was probably late 89 or 90. And it was what was coming out in the future. Like the Punisher VHS tape. So I think it was like what's coming out in the future is Jacob's Ladder. I remember seeing on the VH tape of the Punisher. Nope, nothing so far, Nick. We're just talking about the Punisher 89, talking about the films of 89. So what are people's thoughts of the Punisher 89? Just give your general thoughts for the people in the chat who have seen the film. And no, I'm not going to get mad at you if you don't like the film. Will Rube, that was another case where in previous streams he would say the most random, dumbest shit, and I would warn him on it, and then he didn't care. And so this time I didn't want to derail it. Seen it, loved it, masterpiece, great film, screw the haters. I give thumbs up to Punisher 89, way better than Warzone. I agree. Badass film needs more praise than the newer versions. It's a fun movie. Best Punisher film, in my opinion. I do like the 2004 one too. So do I. I like one of my favorite Marvel films of all time. It's my favorite Punisher film. Want to see it more than Far From Home. Yeah, yeah. Don't see Far From Home. Just sit down and watch the Dolph's The Punisher at home. Pick up the DVD or something. Umbrella Entertainment did a Blu-ray overseas. I think the Umbrella Entertainment is an Australian company. Never saw Chances, Barbecue Network. PS2 game I didn't get to play much of. Great film. I like the 2004 one the same way, though. I think Dolph deserved to be a bigger mainstream action star. I agree. I mentioned that quite a few times when I did my Dolph marathon. Man Cave Theater, probably. Love that Umbrella Punisher Blu-ray. 3 versions of the film with features. I got to see it as well as the 2004 film. Worth a look. Both are worth a look. And better than the shit nowadays. A US Blu-ray. Yeah, deserves a Blu-ray in the US. I agree with that. Icon Piece released to buy. I would say the Screen Factory, just because the picture quality, and you get at least a couple footage of interviews with Dolph and the director and such. The work print, I like the opening of the work print where they show Frank Castle as a father and a police officer. I think that should have been kept in the movie. And then some of the extended bits of blood was nice too. So there's bits of the work print I do enjoy. I like both Gonzalo, but I would say the Punisher over Red Scorpion. Fuck, I might not be able to get through all of 89. This might be like a part 1, and then to be continued another time because I'm only in April. And my voice is giving out. The Punisher of John Wick until June. Maybe I'll do that. I'm not going to go into any of these who will win debates. I'm sorry. But after the Punisher 89, going back on this list, you have Disorganized Crime, which was an alright movie with Lou Diamond Phillips. You have Fred Gwynn from Pet Sematary, Ed O'Neill, Ruben Blades from Predator 2, Corbin Burnson. Disorganized Crime is okay, alright. I mean, if it's cheap, sure. It's from the guy who helped write Stakeout, but this time he wrote and directed it, Jim Cruz, but he helped write Stakeout. Definitely not as good as Stakeout. The cast make the film watchable, but I mean, it's not fantastic or anything, but if you like any of those actors, it's worth one watch. They have some nice camaraderie between the group of people. Oh, that's right. I forgot he wrote The Hidden. Yeah, Ed O'Neill. I think he was one of the police officers. Yeah, I forget game related because it's kind of a forgettable movie. I'll be honest, folks. I never saw Say Anything. That's the one with the boombox, right? I only know that clip. I never saw the movie. That's the thing with that film with John Cusack. Never seen, never seen the movie, but I only know that part. I kind of wonder how many people know that part, but have not. The boombox, your eyes, da, 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 your eyes. I think more people seen that scene than the movie. Did I say I didn't like it? I don't remember saying that. Maybe I got mixed up with something else. I probably did get mixed up with something else. I probably got mixed up with the. There's another one that he was. I don't know. Some of those movies blend together. That purple font. I'm going by Wikipedia right now, and I'm going down the list of Wikipedia. And if I miss stuff, I can always go back and talk about them as well. But I'm probably not going to get to everything this time anyway. I'm probably just going to go into June and then take a break for another day. So next we have She's Out of Control, a Tony Danza film I've never seen. I just remember Cisco and Ebert really, really, really hated that film. Let's see. Looking through the list here. Renegades I couldn't get much into, to be honest. Brockzilla, what's a great movie? I know there's a delay on here, so I'm not sure what you mean, Brockzilla, which was a great movie. Town Post calling. Yeah, I guess we'll get to Kickboxer. I reviewed that when I did my Van Damme marathon. Love Kickboxer. Love the training sequences. Love the score, especially at the end of the film. Great fight scene at the end. And I, man, I miss that kind of stuff in movies nowadays. Where you have that presence of the fighter and that presence of these fight scenes and the slow mo and the helicopter tips. I'm in April. I'm talking about Kickboxer, Open Minded Movie Man. Never say die. You got the heart of a hero. Jose Gomez, if you mention Halloween 5 one more time, I'm just going to kick you off, okay? I've asked you nicely, and then I've asked you not nicely. Please relax, or I'm just gonna knock you off. Okay, man? Last warning. Next of kin, I don't mind. Yeah, Kickboxer is a classic. Yeah, you notice in '89 it was not all comic books remakes or sequels. Open-minded movie man, I'll do it. Don't worry about it. I'd probably say Bloodsport is better, but I still love Kickboxer. I think just like Bloodsport, you have more than one fight. While Kickboxer, it's all building up to the one fight. So Bloodsport, the fact it has multiple fights, and then having the character Jackson in it. And I like Tone Po, but I would put Bolu Yon above him. So I would say Bloodsport's better, but you think about how many movies were inspired by Kickboxer when you get into the 90s. Like, just think about that. How many movies got inspired by Kickboxer? There were tons of them throughout the 90s. I disagree, Crystal Lake Counselor. I didn't want Jackson to die. I'm glad that he lived. Bloodsport had better dialogue. Yeah, but it didn't have dancing. It did have Van Damme dancing. A tournament movie like Bloodsport nowadays, well, that type of movie just isn't the popular thing nowadays. They did the type fucking Kickboxer fucking reboots, which was bull fucking shit. Yeah, Jackson was a fun character in Bloodsport. The score in Kickboxer is also great. I love the score, especially I think it's called "The Eagle Flies" at the end of the film. I mean, the third act. That's Q Barbecue Network. I'm not sure where you see Roadhouse open. Well, Roadhouse isn't until May, so I'm not getting there yet. Open my movie, man. Don't want to jump the gun on that. Actually, I think I'm going to end it at the end of April because I'm running out of steam, and that way, when we get to May, I'll uh, be more invigorated. But for people who've seen Kickboxer, what do you think about the fight scene at the end of Kickboxer? Like your general thoughts on it, and why does that work? But movies nowadays can't have that stuff. Dinobot, I'd rather do that than be burned out and like have no voice. Hey Flaw, hope you're doing well, man. 6363, very nice guy. We're just talking about Kickboxer right now from April of '89. Toxic masculinity. Choreography makes a big impact on the fights. Nowadays, just lazy or heavy in CGI. Hi, verisimilitude from Australia. Hi there. Final fight scene was breathtaking. The build-up alone set you up for the conclusion. Well edited. Choreography was stellar. I agree. Yeah, Kickboxer, great movie. Again, I reviewed that when I did my Van Damme marathon. Yeah, the quest was trying to be Bloodsport and just wasn't as good as Bloodsport. Open-minded movie, man, I don't know. I'm just sort of playing it by ear. Uh, all right, Bar 2 Network, you take care. Yeah, it was a good CD, Shimon. It was a good CD. Stan Bush, talented guy. Yeah, I'm running out of steam, but I will finish off at least April of '89. So we'll. Tournament movies make a comeback. That'd be cool. Be nice. Make it a little bit different from the shit we have nowadays. Real martial artists who can do their own stunts and make it believable. I still don't get why martial arts films are not as big anymore, but I think it has something to do with comedies making fun of them. I just see that. It's just people are more into superheroes. That's cool, Shamozen. So after Kickboxer, we have a couple movies like Field of Dreams, Pet Cemetery, and Red Scorpion. All films I like. Dinobot, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I don't know, DJ. I don't know. I'm playing this by ear. I don't know. I thought I was do this in one go, but it's a lot of stuff to get to, and my voice is giving out. All right, Chaz. Have a good night. I don't know what my favorite Cameron Costner film would be. Joe Butler. I don't mean to be rude, but we're talking about these films. I'm staying on the topic at hand. But Field of Dreams has a great heart to it. Very touching story. Pet Cemetery. I reviewed that film. Definitely a lot better than the remake. The remake was pointless, believe me. Pet Cemetery, the scene where the guy loses his son, is heartbreaking. And Red Scorpion is wonderful. Red Scorpion, badass action. Just kick some ass with that fuck you machine gun, blowing the guy's arm off, and then blows up a fucking helicopter. Choo 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 choo. I am Spetsnaz. I mean, think about that. I mean, think about that. In the same month, 1 week Kickboxer. Another week Field of Dreams, Pet Cemetery, and Red Scorpion. In the span of 2 weeks, you have those films. Red Scorpion, I did a review of it for those who are interested. It's on the channel when I did my Dolph Lundgren marathon. Red Scorpion is one of those movies where it doesn't build up to the action, but I thought the finale was satisfying. When the action scenes happened, they were practical, well done. You have some effects by Tom Savini and Red Scorpion. People forget Tom Savini worked on that. Because the director was Joseph Zito, who worked with Savini on Friday the 13th Part 4, the final chapter. The Speed Zone was the same day, yeah. I actually reviewed that film, but funny enough, even though I reviewed it, I don't remember anything about that movie. I really don't. You know what? I'll end it there for tonight because I'm being burned out because I've been talking for a couple hours. My voice is giving out. But before I do it, I don't know when we'll get back to this topic. So until then, what are your guys' favorite films of '89? We'll have that last be the question at hand. I do want to get back to this, but it'll be another day. No, we haven't gotten to those yet. Maybe next time, Verisimilitude. Well, Savini's work in Red Scorpion is like a torture scene where needles are going through Dolph's uh, skin as torture. A guy's arm gets blown off. Weekend Burnings is a great one. Alex, why would I talk about that? We're talking about films of '89. Why would I talk about Doc Savage, a film that was never made? Again, it's like you're not listening to me, man. If that's the case, what's the deal, Alex? Please tell me. Yeah, my personal favorites would be Leviathan, See No Evil, Hear No Evil, Cyborg is up there, Tango and Cash is up there, The Burbs is up there. Film fan, I don't know. I do not know. Didn't know that film was '89. Dinobot. The Jedi Video Vault guy. So before I leave, let's get into what. Sorry, I was silent. I was letting people chat without me talking in their ear. Man Cave Theaters says Roadhouse, Batman, The Punisher, Lean on Me, Born on the 4th of July. Dinobot says Punisher, Indiana Jones 3, Back to the Future 2, Cyborg, Leviathan, Take on Cash, The Burbs. Alex, The Punisher, Pet Sematary, Let It Ride, Return of Swamp Thing for Gonzalo, Unconditional Prawn, Back to the Future 2, Z, Batman, The Punisher, Red Scorpion, Indy 3, Back to the Future 2, The Killer, Uncle Buck, Ghostbusters 2, Roadhouse, Cyborg, Lethal Weapon 2, DJ, The Burbs, Ghostbusters 2, Tango and Cash, Open-Minded Movie Man, Batman, Roadhouse, Star Trek 5, Indiana Jones Last Crusade, Leviathan, Tango and Cash, Born 4th of July, Tango and Cash, Cyborg, a lot of love for Back to the Future 2, a lot of love for Ghostbusters 2, that's really cool, and Indiana Jones 3, okay then. Well, we will definitely pick this up another time. A lot of movies, a lot of nice to hear your guys' thoughts. Granted, people rewatching this, they're not going to get much out of me. Because a lot of the films I've reviewed already. So it's hard to talk about a film I've already reviewed. But we will definitely do this another time. Thank you guys for watching. Take care, and we will see you guys in the next one. See you guys later.